welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Prague in the Czech Republic. He is a freelance business process automation consultant, both for the Power Platform and M365. He was first awarded as MVP in 2021, and he's been working with Microsoft Technologies for over 10 years in various roles, including analyst, developer, architect, team lead, and project manager. In his spare time, you can find him rolling on a BJJ mat, which I got to understand what that is, practicing his, is it Bacata?
No, it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
And salsa dancing. This is amazing. Of course, links to his bio, social media, etc. will be in the show notes for this episode. Tom, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Happy to be here.
Tell me about this baccarat and salsa dancing that you're into.
Well, salsa dancing, it's something I started only about a year ago. So right now, my dancing is like on the conversational level. So it doesn't impress anybody, but it shouldn't offend anybody either. So that's my latest hobby that I picked up to extend my social bubble, because being a guy in the IT and being a guy doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as the second hobby, you don't meet many girls. So I was like, yeah, let's go out there, learn something new, let's start dancing.
That's a great idea. I like it. So tell me a bit about food, family, and fun. What do they mean to you in the Czech Republic?
Food. Well, I'm not really a foodie. For me, food often is just, I have to eat something because, well, you should eat something. So, but otherwise, yeah, fun in Czech Republic. Now dancing almost every day. Lots of parties in Prague. You can go somewhere every night. Sometimes I feel like I already felt burned out from all the dancing that I did, so I had to reduce it a bit. Yeah, if you go out 4 or 5 nights a week, then when you are over 30, it might be a bit too much.
Yeah. What about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? That sounds exciting.
Yeah, that's a hobby I picked up like 5 years ago, when I felt like my life is too comfortable. That like I am good at everything I do, but most of the time I spend sitting in front of the computer. So let's pick up some physical activity, some martial art, because that's what I wanted to do since the 20s, but I never found the will to do it. And then one day I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's pick something where nobody will kick me or punch me. And well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of those martial arts when you just choke and lock joints, and it's like much more comfortable for me than being punched in the face.
Yes. My 3.5-year-old will turn 4 later this year, and I'll be enrolling her in Jiu-Jitsu because it's just about a kilometer down the road. Is a guy teaches children, starts at 4 years old, teaching Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm looking forward to her joining that.
Yeah, I think that's a great martial art, like my favorite one. So totally recommend it. If he starts at 4, then it will be great. It's much better than start after your 30s, when there are all these young 18-year-old guys and all you do is stop multiple times every training.
Is that wow. So how did you get into technology?
Yeah, so like my favorite technology, as you mentioned, is Power Automate. It's something I liked from the start, or when I learned that this technology exists, because it's something I've been doing my whole career. Like right after the college, I got to SharePoint and Nintex. Back then it was SharePoint 2010 and on-premise Nintex. I still think when it was on-premise, it had the most possibilities, and you could do so much more than you can now with the cloud technologies. But basically what I've been doing for the last 12 years, is it now, is automating stuff. It's this, when I'm thinking about it, it's the same problems in the companies, that I am not solving anything new, that most of the problems I solve are processes in the companies that are unorganized, unmapped. Nobody really knows how it works. One guy does it this way, another guy does it another way. And it's still the same. 12 years and the companies didn't move much. The only thing that changed was the technology. So it was Nintex, it was SharePoint Designer back then. Then when we moved to cloud and Microsoft shut down SharePoint Designer flows, then we had to migrate the flows somehow, at least those flows that existed back then. And since we were in the Microsoft stack, so we moved to Power Automate, and that's how I got to Power Automate, because there was the necessity to move the SharePoint Designer flows.
Tell me a bit about your process that you go through when you get brought in to automate a task. And I'm thinking, something much more complex than just an approval flow or something like that. When you're brought in to do, a complex automation of some business type activity, what's your process that you go through to, one, architect, how it's going to be, how that layout's going to work, and how do you validate your ideas before you actually start building your automations?
When you get in the company, they often have the problem. Sometimes you come there, you just know about the problem, something that they feel that should be fixed, that's not ideal. Often it's, we have this idea, audit found that this is not how we should be doing it. Sometimes they already thought about it, they push their, this is exactly how we want to do it, this process. So they are trying to push you into it. But anyway, always it is about lots of discussion at the beginning to really find out, to formalize the process. Because often the processes are, okay, I think it should be this way, and I've been doing it this way for years. And then some other guy says, yeah, but I've been doing it other way. And yeah, it's the same result, but there are different steps that we take. So it always starts with the discussion with the customer to really formalize, okay, what should happen? How does it start? What are the steps that are necessary? What is the outcome? Then as you get deeper and deeper, and you have a bit of experience with the processes, then you can see maybe all the connections that are around it, that maybe it's not that straightforward. Then you have to connect over here, get some data from that source. Then you have get over there. Then you maybe need to care about permissions, something that customers often forgot. Yeah, permissions. So it's about lots of discussion, really formalize the process, make sure, okay, this is how it should work in the most ideal case, and this is what we are about to implement. And of course, before I commit, I need to make sure that what I promise is doable. So there are some proof of concepts during the discussions, okay, let's try to call this service, let's try to connect over there, let's try to gather this data to do this data transformation. And well, after we go through this process, I would say it's quite standard to any IT project that you develop.
First of all, when did you go freelance? How long have you been freelancing?
I've been freelancing for 4 years now. 6 years. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So what made you go? What made you take that step to go freelancing?
Yeah, I was employed only once for 6 years, right after the college. And I didn't like the employment very much because of those, okay, you have to work 8 hours, you have this time that we allocated for you, and you have to fit some work. And sometimes they were blank spots. You finished your work in 4 hours, but you still, okay, so, but I still have to get my 8 hours in. So it would be much better if I didn't have to. If I had more control over my time, if I decided that, okay, it's Wednesday, it's nice weather, so today I will not work. I will just go sit in a coffee and enjoy the day. So that was basically my motivation, to get more free time, and also to expand my reach, because when you are in one company, then you don't see much. You see how it works in that one company, then you get quite blind about the processes because you are used to the environment, you know how it works, and you lose this out-of-the-box thinking when you look on it because you are inside. So it being freelance, it's also much better because I can work for multiple companies. I can see how it works in each of them. Then I can help them much more because I know, okay, this can work. I can combine all this experience from those companies. And I think that also adds value for me because the work is like there's various work, various environments, and it adds more value also to my customers because I can see more out of the box.
So how do your customers find you? How do you pick up new work? How do you grow? Because, often if you're freelancing, you're working, and you're not thinking about how you pick up the next project. And how do you balance work with also getting yourself out there? Is your blog the main way that people find you and then contract you to work for them?
Yeah, I work in a way that I have like one big customer that I work about half the time of the week. So that's my main customer, and I know they will have work for me every time. And this is like for me the safe space. Even if I don't find any customers, if I get totally lazy, I can still just work half a week for this one customer and be totally fine, have a happy life. And then for the rest of the customers, right now it's a lot about recommendation since I've been in the business for some time. And then it's occasional projects from people that know me right now. They know me through my blog, through the work I'm doing for the community, which is like a great help. If you want to freelance, then you have to market yourself somehow. And my way of marketing is my blog dedicated to Power Automate. So that's where it comes from.
And are you picking up jobs worldwide? Are you getting invited to work on projects outside of where you live?
Yeah, I do. I have some companies that I work with that are located in the US. Like the US seems to be the main market for Power Automate, or at least from my perspective, maybe it's because, I guess it's more popular in America. I worked also with some companies in Europe, but not so much lately. And then I work with lots of companies in Czechia. But yeah, I try not to limit myself only to Czechia, but I would like to get more to also the projects abroad, because I need to practice my English. I can't speak only Czech every day, all day long.
Yes. And your US customers, I take it you just do everything remote. You do your requirements gathering over Teams, for example. And how do you handle? And this is like a deep technical thing, as in like a business thing. How do you handle receiving money or basically receiving money? Because I assume people are paying you in USD, and you are operating in euros. Is that right?
Well, I operate in any currency. Like in this, I'm quite flexible. Like my currency is Czech crown, because when you are doing taxes in Czechia, you have to do everything in the Czech crowns. You can't do really taxes in euros. So you have to convert everything.
I didn't realize you weren't on the euro. Yeah.
Yeah, we are not.
Yeah.
So, not yet.
So how do you receive? Do you have a US bank account, and that's how you receive US dollars? How do you get it to you?
I have Euro and US bank accounts. Some customers pay by PayPal, because that seems to be the easiest way for the people located in the US. And they can pay by credit card. That seems to be easiest way. Last time one customer even sent me a check, which surprised me a bit. That I really received a piece of paper. I brought it to local bank. I was like, okay, I've never seen this. Can you transfer the money to my bank account? And they were like, okay, we have also never seen it, so we have to discuss it with other colleagues.
Wow. Yeah. That's interesting. It surprises me with US businesses that they still operate in paper-based checks, and in many situations, I assume it's going away. But I'm still shocked when I offered to be paid via check, because I'm just like, I've never seen one in 10 years. So It's it's quite different. How did you become an MVP?
Well, I got nominated. Microsoft decided I am worth it, and I got MVP.
Do you know who nominated you?
Chuck Sterling nominated me.
Oh, is that right? Yes. He's no longer there, but okay.
Yeah, it was before he retired a few weeks. I mean, few months, probably not weeks. Yeah, but I think it started during COVID when I got a bit bored because COVID in Czechia, it was really locked down. Like we couldn't even travel through the whole country. We had to stay at one place. Everything was closed. I had lots of free time. So I went to Microsoft Community Forum and I started helping people and replying to the questions. And yeah, that's how I got it. How I got in the super user program. And
Gotcha. So it didn't start with blogging. You were doing more the forums type support in the forums, and that's how you got recognized. Is that the case?
I would say it started at similar time because when I get on the forum, when I search on the forum, then sometimes I didn't like the answers that I found there. Or when you get to a problem, you see, okay, it's the same problem, and then you have 3-4 pages of responses, and you try 1, 2, 3 of them, and they don't work. So it's like, okay, so let's make it easier for myself, maybe for the people in the future when they have the same problem. So I will try the solution, the one that works, and let's write a blog post about it. So next time when somebody has the problem, they just go there, they find it, and I find it, and I know it works because I was the one who wrote it, did it, tested it, and I don't have to rely on some random nickname on the forum. That's the right answer.
Yeah. That's so good. Final question I have for you. Is there any recommendations you would have to people wanting to become an MVP, that they want to make that part of their career plan? What would your advice to them be?
My advice would be that MVP shouldn't be the goal, or that was at least in my experience. Like MVP was never the goal that, okay, now I have to do something because I want to be MVP. For me, the MVP is just like a nice badge from Microsoft, like recognition. Okay, you are doing good work for the community. You know what you are talking about. And we appreciate it. So here you have the MVP badge. I don't think that going directly for MVP will work because it is a lot of work to get there. You have to really spend a lot of time doing something for the community. And you won't last if you are doing it just for the badge. It has to be something that you like doing, that you want to do, that you will do repeatedly, no matter if you get the MVP badge or you don't get the MVP badge. It's just the type of work you like to do, the life you want to live. And part of it will be, okay, I want to be somehow beneficial to the community, to help other people, to have the good feeling myself that I am sharing my knowledge, that I've been doing something that can help other people. And then you might get nominated, you might get MVP, but I don't think the goal should be, okay, I want to be MVP, what should I do? And then doing it by force.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.